You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa familia, strap on your rocket packs because today we're blasting way past the stratosphere and into full sci-fi madness. I got two cosmic creatives in the building, the masterminds behind the new dark humor sci-fi satire, He Lost His Keys in Space, published by our peoples over at Black Panel Press. Now, we have an artistic astronaut, right? And we also have someone that is a debut storytelling right here, Comet. We have in the building those that have intergalactic knowledge, ridiculous energy. So buckle up, Crusaders, because if you ever lost your keys on Earth, try to do them across the galaxy with Luke Milton and Lizzy Lang. How you doing?
Hello. Thank you. What a great intro.
Well, you guys rock. It's energy. You got me rocked out with this book. I started reading right before the show, and definitely had a smile on my face, and I can't wait to finish the book afterwards. But already on the right track, definitely after my heart and my pocket for a stocking stuffer, because this is, again, man, tis the season for gift ideas, folks. And let me tell you, independent creators like my man Luke and Lizzy right here, and especially this is her debut, so great job. We're gonna get into all that in a minute. So all right, let's do this. All right, let's do this right now. When did y'all realize, yep, we are weird enough to make comics together?
We knew we were weird together. I think that was always something on the cards. I had started again. I had a big break from drawing. I used to be involved in the comic scene and doing stuff through the arts industry in Perth for arts festivals and things. I would put together comic events. And it was during COVID when I started to actually draw again. And that's when I did the first book, Animals Rule This Land. And then it's just natural when you're with your partner that you're going to talk about the things that you're working on. And Lizzy's a very creative person. And what I was realizing, she's bringing so many ideas that there's something that happens at the end of this book, which is so crucial to it and makes it so much better. And Lizzy's just such a great creative partner with that. So it made sense that we would start to work together on that. And then she started just doing the flat colors, and but then brought so much more to it than that, and began to really do, and I love the color in the book. I'm really proud of what happened.
Oh, color! So, that's the first thing I noticed. It definitely does pop off the pages. And again, the emotion, the humor, you get it. I was feeling like I was in the room with homie, and I probably would choke him out if he was my friend. For real. Now, let me ask you, was there an exact moment, though, rather a creative lightning strike moment where everything wound up clicking?
There was. So I'm conscious of how much I'm talking. Do you want to speak to that, Lizzy?
No, well, the lightning struck you, so why don't you tell the story?
With this book, it's a really weird catalyst. Basically, what we're always looking for, we're looking for a killer premise, and then something that we can just kind of riff off and really turn into something special. And this premise came about. Do you remember the 80s cartoon? Might have even been late 70s, Ulysses 31. It was a Japanese.
Yes,
and it has this killer theme song. It's so good. And Lizzy's brother had been playing it again. And I don't remember the content of the show, but I remember that theme. And I started singing it in the shower, but I was singing Ulysses, Ulysses, where'd I leave my keys, basically. And then we started to talk about that. And then everything else kind of unfolds from that, because you start to think...
Was the conversation about your singing voice or actually about lost keys?
Well, I mean...
One and then the other.
Yeah, the book's better than my singing voice. I want to make that super clear.
Lizzy agrees.
But yeah, then you start to think, you start to explore that, and you go, well, if you've lost your keys, what's the reason? What is your reason for visiting all these planets? And that became the Earth Ambassador story. And everything, just sort of branches out from that.
All right, but all right. So before the keys flew off into orbit, what were your personal journeys that launched you into the comic world? I'll start with Lizzy here because this is your debut here. Whereby, so what struck that creative match, if you will?
Oh, for me, it was pure jealousy. Really, I saw Luke have come out, "Animals Rule This Land," and I thought, I want that. I want to be part of that as well. Luke and I actually met through the comic scene in Perth through a mutual friend mutual friends who also are really, really interesting, really creative comics creators in Perth here in Western Australia. And that whole time, the last 20 years or so of watching other people create comics and have fun, I've always had this little nugget of jealousy in the pit of my stomach, a little bit of anger that I wasn't doing that as well, but I didn't have any drawing talent at all. I can draw stick figures, that's about it.
You know what? That's already a step above me.
She's underselling as well. She draws really well.
So I really feel like I saw an opportunity to ride some coattails, and I grabbed onto them, and I am holding on to Luke's coattails as he's really the creative force behind us, and I'm trying to keep up the whole way.
Well, you're not trying, you're doing. That's what I'm saying. She's not trying, she's doing, because there is a book out. So you done did, girl. All right, you better recognize. Come on now. That's all I love here. All right. Now, was there maybe a specific title or creator that changed you guys' direction in the creation of the story?
Not in the creation of this story, but certainly there have been comic influences that there are people that really like a lot of the sort of mid to late 90s Fantagraphics content, like Peter
stuff,
Bagg and Dan Clowes. That's the stuff that I was really into. Dan Clowes is probably my
you were into the indie stuff. I mean, is that because of where you grew up? I mean, and the accessibility of more independent as opposed to big two, or was just your personal preference?
It was my personal preference. Like in the 90s, so in the early 90s when I was in high school, I was reading X-Men when that Jim Lee run.
Oh, yeah, good stuff. I get it. We're around the same era then. All right, bet. Yep.
Yeah. So I was into that and I was enjoying it. But I think for me, it was the inconsistency of writer and artist, like the fact that you could get really into something and then the book would seem to change completely
overnight, right?
Whereas
you're like, what the hell just happened here?
Yeah. Whereas the independent stuff, I really admire those artists and writers that were doing everything and had a vision and were able to sustain that vision over a long period of time. Also, I think I began to engage more in, like, I love the versatility of Clowes. Like he does those really sort of just really weird, short, crass humor comics, but then he'll also do something really thoughtful and Lynchian. And I think I like that you can have all of those things in one book. So I really, I went through as well, like I did the original Eastman and Laird Ninja Turtles. I was really obsessed with that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so a variety of stuff. Also, Mark Martin, who was doing Nat Rat.
Okay.
And he did a couple of episodes of issues of the original Ninja Turtles. He also did like parodies. So he did this beautifully painted parody of the movie called Green Gray Sponge Suit Sushi Turtles, which was released under Mirage, and it's about the Batman fandom that was emerging in '89. Versus the Turtles fandom, which was also, emerging. So all these things have really stuck with me. But also, obviously, if you look at the book, it's almost, we approached it and it's episodic. We approached it like a TV series. So That's
I
the other
noticed that.
influence.
I noticed
Yeah.
that on the page that I'm on, once the adventure, if you will, was going to start, it kind of, you felt that there was a little shift on how this story was going to be told, which is cool. Because like, all right, now we're getting, all right, we're about to have some fun right now. You kind of already felt that shift. Like, all right, this guy's wacky. Now we're going to get into some fun, and his poor partner. My God, I already feel sorry for what that poor partner is about to go to. I'm
It's
like,
gonna
oh
get
man.
bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, all right. So, like, what made you say, let's combine cosmic insanity with dark humor?
Dark humor is always the go-to. I mean, I think that's always where I like difficult characters. I like troubling characters that don't make you feel comfortable. Like, when I'd watch Seinfeld, I'd like George Costanza the best because,
Yeah.
or that sort of Curb Your Enthusiasm style of like,
Yeah, well,
I like things to be difficult and prickly and
I like how you said George and Curb Your Enthusiasm because Larry was, is George.
Yes, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Like one of my favorite books is Confederacy of Dunces, which has an incredibly horrible protagonist. And we've created a very difficult protagonist in this book. Vega Ulysses he's a terrible guy. He's not mean-spirited. He thinks he's in the right. He thinks that what he's doing is fine, and he thinks that everybody enjoys him as much as he enjoys himself. But of course,
he reminds me of a totally 80s Mr. Macho guy. Yeah, hey, I'm here, America, rah type mother effer. I'm like, Jesus Christ, calm the F down a little bit, please. Please, Lord God. All right. Yeah. I love it. It's funny, man. It had me smiling from the moment I read the first couple of boxes of panels. I was like, holy shit. Okay, I see. All right. I'm digging it. There's the type of stuff we need in comics. There's, again, like great stocking stuff for folks. Listen, I'm gonna put something up on screen. All right, there's gonna be here for the rest of the show. I'm gonna make it easy for you guys. All right, we got to put indie creators, right? So y'all thinking about gifts? You see that QR code right up there? You see that, right? Go ahead and scan that, baby. You go straight to Black Panel Press, baby. Be able to go ahead and purchase this book, all right, and support independent comics. Again, this is great for the comic book fan in your life. Trust me, I'm gonna leave that there now. All right, so don't forget. Go ahead and scan it. Take a look yourselves. Also have a trailer I'm about to show off. And y'all wondering, what are you guys talking about? Space, this, that, the other. Guess what? I also have the cover. Look how dope that cover is right there. Come on now. Come on now. Look at that. So talk to me about this cover. All right, because this is what I'm saying. So the main protagonist is this homie right here with a white streak. That's how my hair started too, a little white streak like that. What's his name?
Vega Ulysses.
Right, Vega Ulysses. And
so there's the Ulysses reference, the homage.
And then who's the frog looking guy above him? For the folks to know.
So we've got that's Snacks. He is Vega's sort of unwilling, put upon sidekick, who's coming along for the ride, but doesn't not really into it so much. And then we've got also.
He's an Earth ambassador as well, even though he's an alien, and that's because Vega won't pay for another human.
Oh man, I mean, this looks great. And who's the lady here? I'm sorry.
Her name is Vanessica, and we don't start off the story with Vanessica. We encounter her later on, and she is pretty angry about things that have happened between her and Vega in the past, and so she comes in. She's not so interested in finding his keys, let's say.
It's on her face that she does not like anything that's going on. The only one having fun is that little red robot, and my man is stressed. I mean, I see it, and I've lost my keys. I mean, I smoke weed. Sometimes I lose it when it's right next to me. You know what I mean? It's just things that happen in life. You know what I mean? All right, so but tell me about our unfortunate key losing protagonist. Like really, what chaos is he running from? Because my man seems to, as soon as the book opens up, they're like, something he's been involved in seems to be ending, and like, Are we getting prequels on him in the future? So like, I want to know how he even landed. The cycle landed in this spot.
I know. I guess he's a believer. Like, he has an incredible belief in everything that he's been told. He believes in this system. He believes that in exceptionalism. He believes that Earth is the absolute best, and that our culture is the best, and that. But he believes in things in a very like, his memory's not great. Like, you find out, we don't. There's no direct one-to-one real-world parallels here. We're in the future.
Okay.
It's not America. It's the president of Earth. He's Vega is religious, but it's not any specific religion. But when you dig down on those ideas, like, he hasn't read the book. He's watched the anime for his religion. He doesn't. Yeah, he remembers things poorly. He mixes messages, and he believes, I guess, ultimately that this system, that everything he's working for, is going to look after him. That he's important. That he's just as.
I lost you. I lost your mic. Your mic. There we go. You're back.
One sec. Lizzy, do you want to cover?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he really believes in the message of Earth, and so he's coming. When we join him in the book, he's just finishing up his 12-year diplomatic mission. He's been the first ambassador of Earth across the galaxy, and he's finally paid off his mortgage, and he can go back home to his mega mansion. The only reason he took the job in the first place was to pay off his mortgage. But then right at that moment, right as he's finishing up his job, he can go home. That's when he realizes that he lost his keys and he can't actually get into his mansion once he gets home. And
man. Could you imagine
the reason that we're coming into the story at this point is because that's really the springboard for the rest of the story. The way that we've structured this book is we're following Vega as he has to retrace his steps back to the planets that he thought he might have lost his keys on. So we see him going back to and gets confronted by the impacts of his actions on those planets.
Oh, man.
So it's sort of, we're going in reverse kind of back through his recent past and through the chaos.
See, I have a similar story. I lost my gold fronts once. I heard you, Luke. My gold fronts. Me and my friends went to eat pizza. I took off my fronts, was eating my pizza, and one of my guys says, "Yo, we gotta go." So we ran out because he didn't pay. And then I smile. They're like, "Yo, where's your teeth at?" I said, "Oh shit, my fronts." I had to go back. I don't know how I snuck in. Hopefully, I was lucky. I don't know how lucky my man's gonna be when he gets back to those planets, but I was lucky.
You will get an answer by the end of the book. I'm sorry, I did lose my mic in space for a little while there, but I'm back. No.
You found it.
Yeah. So in a way, the book is a prequel because you have all these flashbacks to what he originally did on the planet.
Oh, we do.
And then you see the impact and where the planet is now based on his actions. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I know you said it's based in the future and whatnot, but is this based maybe on someone real in your lives? Or you guys solely exposing yourselves?
I don't know that Vega is based on anyone specifically in my life. More an amalgamation of all of the terrible people that I've ever met.
Gotcha. The Voltron of evil. Gotcha.
It's also so much fun to just write a character that is always going to say and do the wrong thing. Like it's because you can't do that in real life. So, and you know what you want to, but the idea that he can just say and do whatever, you can just let all those impulses out, and it's kind of fun.
You know what?
Yeah, and Vega's a guy who's really driven by his own self-interest. And as long as his self-interest aligns with your interests, you're fine. As soon as they diverge, he's gonna preference himself over anything else that's going on.
Including his most deep-seated beliefs as well. He will turn on them if he needs to get his keys or needs some advantage.
Oh my gosh, so he'll wreck his own morals if he has to, just to get to what he needs to get to. There we go.
Yeah, he's flexible.
Hey, look at that. Convenience, right? It's a necessity. All right, folks, check this out. Before we continue our conversation and find out the connection with Black Panther and all that, let's check out this trailer. All right, so that way you know what you guys are going to be buying the comic book fan in your life and business. Those are some ugly ass aliens. That's crazy. What the hell? Oh, a lump cat sounds horrible. My man from Mass, what the hell? In the world. It's available now, baby. You lost the keys in space from Black Panel Press, baby. Yeah. Get it now. Get it now. I like that. I like that. That was cracking me up. I had some weird ass looking scenes for sure. Like, whoa, what is going on here? I can't wait to read that part of the story. All right, I dig it. Black Panel Press. Talk about that connection. How did this partnership come up with Black Panel Press?
I finished Animals Rule This Land. I waited till I had the whole book, and then I started to send it out to people. I just sent it out to about.
Oh, wait a minute! Somebody got some swag in the building. Look at that beautiful book right there.
Yeah, so that's Animals Rule This Land.
Can we see the spine, Lizzy? The spine. Look. Oh, see, that's shelf porn. Look, it's a thick book right there for your shelves, folks. See what I'm saying? It's really a stocking stuffer. Look at those colors. Look at that. Oh man, how many pages is that, baby?
That one's about 135, I think.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I did that one, and I sent it to Black Panel Press. I saw Black Panel Press. Became aware of them. I saw a review of a book that they did in the Comics Journal, and it just looked so cool. And when I sort of looked at their back catalog, they had some really interesting looking stuff. So I submitted to them, and just we're really lucky. We heard from Andrew a couple of days later, and he basically said, yes, let's do it. And he's been a massive supporter ever since. We owe so much to him. His Black Panel publishes independent books from artists all over the world, and a lot of them are very highbrow with some just absolutely beautiful art. We're the lowbrow section up there. We're the messy Australian.
You mean you're behind the black curtain in the video store? Like, hold on.
Yeah, but and then Keys again. We just pitched it, and we were very lucky that he was able to support that, especially after obviously the Diamond bankruptcy had a huge ripples for everybody in.
Oh man, how did that affect you guys out there as well? Because again, that's one of the biggest distributors out there, out here. Again, how did it affect you guys on your side of the world, if you will?
Well, I mean, so Black Panel's in Canada, so so for Black Panel, it was like, last year was their best year ever. It was an amazing year for them as a publisher, but they didn't get the money. So
many didn't. And they're fighting to keep that money too. Those bastards. Again, I'm not trying to get myself in trouble, but I just hear this thing that man is trying to keep money, and this is disgusting behavior. And come on, man, it's more important than ever. We gotta support our creators, man, because look how these corporations want to treat. Like I think one publisher, for example, which is public, they want to keep like over $1 million in inventory and just sell it without giving Diamond their monies. I mean, Dynamite their monies. Like, are you insane right now? If you owe me $1 million, man, I'm gonna beat your ass. I promise you, I will. Oh my god.
So yes, so and we hope to continue to work with Black Panel as long as they'll have us, I guess.
I think we're gonna have you for a long time because it's a beautiful book. Don't you worry.
Because and that's another thing. Like the treatment that they give us and the quality of the books that they put out and the attention that we get, I just don't think we would get that with a bigger company. And then by the same time, like they still get it into all the same stores and all those things. So we really have loved that association. We're and amazed by the other stuff that they're bringing out.
I dig it. Now, Lizzy, this is your debut graphic novel. Now, what moment made you go, "Oh wow, I'm officially an author"? Oh snap! And party time.
Well, it's strange. It's such a sort of a trickle, because you finish the book and you think, "Oh wow, we did that," and then you send it to the publisher and they say, "Yes, here's a contract," and you go, "Wow, now I'm an author," and then nothing happens for 6-12 months because everything's happening behind the scenes and you don't see any of the all of the negotiation, all of the logistics. And so the book came out on the 30th of September this year, but not in Australia. It came out, I think, in North America and the UK. So we didn't actually have a copy of the book yet. It came out and we hadn't seen it. We hadn't seen the final.
Serious? That's crazy.
Yeah,
people are talking
we
about the book and like we ain't even know what it looked like yet.
Yeah, we weren't sure it existed. We saw it a month after, whereas Animals, when that came out, I got it about a month before the release date, so that felt more real. But so it was when we opened the box, wasn't it? When we opened the box of our author copies, and that's always just a amazing moment.
Look at that.
When I got to hold it in my hands and I knew that it was real and it wasn't some really long con that was being played on us, when I actually got to see the thing, the first thing I did was Luke was on the phone with his mum at the time, and the first thing I did once I got the book was I went to the last page and it wasn't there, and I was like, don't panic, as he's on the phone. Just keep looking. Maybe it's just that one book. But what had happened was that the last 2 pages were sort of stuck together on just that one copy that I had. Okay. Because they hadn't been opened yet. And so I was there like trying to get the pages apart, and finally, saw the last page and thought, okay, this is real. Now I'm an author. This is amazing.
Yeah. And you must see she got nervous, like, oh my god, this book fucked up. What the hell just happened here? I dig it. But now,
well, after Animals Rule This Land got published and the book came, I read the book in its physical copy, and Luke never has. Luke's never read that book.
I'll never read my work.
Really?
And I've hassled him like the whole time. Ever since then, I've made fun of him for not reading his book, and now I totally understand it because. Like I remember what the story is. I've read it. I've read it a lot of times, through proofing it.
Yeah.
But now, what if I see a typo, or what if something's missing, or what if it's no good anymore? Now that it's actually a real thing, it was really stressful seeing that book for the first time, and it's your baby. It's your baby book that's out in the world now, and you can't protect it anymore.
I mean, but Luke was on the money. There's a lot of actors that also don't even watch their own movies. That they star in some of them because they don't want to see themselves on screen. I remember my independent film that I did. I felt very uncomfortable seeing myself on screen. I was like, oh my god, I don't want to be here right now. I want to go home.
I imagine I imagine musicians feel the same way, like listening to the songs and just that thinking of going, well, that's now the final thing, and you can't tweak something or.
Yeah, right. So, Lou, let me ask you: your art mixes that gritty with the quirky, right? What inspiration shaped that universe, that style that you have?
Yeah, I don't know specifically. Like we talked about my comic influences. Um, I think I've just always drawn, and I guess I've just kind of ended up there. Certainly, that sort of like I think my work's quite ugly. Like there's something sort of a little bit underground creepy about it, um, and I kind of embrace that. Um, and I guess that's just the sort of thing that I've been drawn to myself through comics and reading. I like we said a lot of independent stuff, and I definitely think that I'm more successful in the realm of being a writer than an artist. But it's something that's sort of been developing and something I'm getting more and more confident. We have finished a third book, and
Oh,
I've
really?
nearly
Wepa.
and we're at the
Nice.
tail end of a fourth book. So and we're writing a fifth book. So that's the other difficult thing is everything you release is you're a couple of books ahead in terms of the art style and everything. So it's all just a process. I'm learning a lot as I go.
That's
Would you
me
say
also.
that
Mhm.
would you say that your art style has been influenced by other like non-comic things? Like I see a lot of the Muppets in the way that
Oh yeah,
the way that you draw and the way that you draw characters as well.
yeah. I love the Muppets. I love Star Wars. Born in '76, grew up with both of those things. And I do sometimes, yeah, with cartoony characters, I do have a sort of that whatnot Muppet approach where you like stick on get a head shape, stick on a nose, stick on ears, stick on hair, and kind of build up a character that way. So I think there are some Muppety designs, certainly in some later
Yeah,
stuff as well.
you also had something similar to that in the beginning of the story that made me laugh. An incident on his ship that I chuckled with, something that popped up and made me think of the Muppets, a particular little panel. Again, folks, you gotta read it to understand. All right, I'm not gonna blow it up for him, but it did make me chuckle. Now, what was the hardest part of building a believable yet stupidly funny sci-fi world?
Well, for me,
I,
it's remembering all of the names. I can't remember the names of the planets that they went to.
the character, yeah,
The
all the
honesty,
characters.
yes. Yeah, tell it.
I oh gosh, it was a thing of sort of going. You had to think like you don't just go to a planet and go maybe they're here. You have to remember a specific incident where you may have last used your keys. So the key to it was the key ring. There are objects on his key ring that he uses throughout the different quests on Earth. And it was about remembering him associating. Well, I remember I used that object on this particular planet. So maybe there's there.
Ah.
So you were always trying to justify, you're coming up with basically 10 episodes. So you're thinking, what's an amusing episode? What's an amusing sort of storyline? Like the lump cat thing, for example, is,
Oh, cat, that sounds horrible.
yeah, he goes and he goes to a planet. He's invited as an ambassador to a planet with this amazing orchestra. These aliens play the most beautiful music, which brings everybody together, and they refuse to sell it to anyone. They'll only play it live in these special rituals, which he's totally against because he's all capitalism. But then they say, well, this was a cultural exchange. What have you brought for us from Earth? And he panics and he realizes the only thing he's got is a USB, which has all the Lumpcat comics on it, which is a Garfield that loves rigatoni and hates communism. And he leaves that with them and then makes a hasty exit. But when he comes back, he realizes he's completely wrecked their culture because they're obsessed with Lumpcat and they've become incredibly capitalist and they've stopped doing their music and they're just doing all these live Lumpcat shows and selling Lumpcat merch. and then he has
That
to kind
sounds
of
like a Rick
navigate
and
through
Morty
that.
episode, bro. Oh my god, this could be a crossover Rick and Morty. If these two efforts cross paths, that'll be hysterical. I see this.
So yeah,
When are we
it's
getting
that
the
sort
cartoon?
of. Yeah, well, I would love it. I mean, that's a great thing with the cartoon. We had him resolve it in 10 episodes. You could just keep going to planet after planet after planet and telling these crazy stories as he searches for his keys. I mean, it could be 5 series, Netflix.
Yeah, let's go Netflix, everybody. I mean, we need fresh, new content, and I think this is it right here. We got to make that happen now. But going with that, what are you poking fun at the most in this book, if you will? Is it maybe society? Is it tech? Is it ourselves?
I think it's society. I'd like to get your take on this too, Lizzy, but I think it's the systems that we believe in and the sort of hills that we're going to die on. The idea that if we believe in something, that it will believe in us the same way, because it doesn't always. These systems can reject us. We can put a lot into them and they cannot look after us. But it's not about lampooning any specific real life person or anything like that. It's about how did we end up here in a place where we might gravitate towards like arrogance and cruelty and things like that instead of empathy and kindness. And so yeah, just looking at where could we end up if the trajectory we were on snowballed from here.
Yeah, and I think that as well as that, we're also sort of lampooning the form of more like an homage, but also poking fun at those cartoons, those Saturday morning cartoons that we grew up with, and that kind of sometimes you have main characters who maybe they think that they're doing the right thing, but the story tells you they're doing the right thing, but the effect that they're having is not always positive. And I think that we've kind of flipped that a little bit, and we're looking at, well, what's the reality? Like, what happens once the episode ends from the TV show, and these characters have to live with each other? What's the next step, and how do these personalities play out, and these ideals, these values that they have? Where does that take us?
The other thing is, I think that I was completely lost what I was gonna say.
My smoke reached through the speakers and got you.
It's not a redemption story either, and that was something important to us. And we both have this dislike for those things where men behave quite badly, but then at some point somebody says to them, "You're a good man." And there's so many movies and TV series and everything where it's somebody's job, usually a woman, to tell this man, "No, you're a good man." And he's not a good man. And he's not going to change overnight. It's not the Christmas Carol. So we really look at that. And I'm interested to see how people deal with the ending, because it's not a Hollywood ending. But we really sort of thought about it, and we think it's the perfect ending for that character.
Okay, so you're getting me excited over here. I can't even finish. Now, okay, Lizzy, this is your first book. No spoilers, right? But what scene in the book are you secretly most proud of?
Oh, most proud of? That's a really good question. Oh.
So this is your baby you're talking about. I know there was a moment you were groovy. You said, "Oh shit, this."
Yeah. Well, the way that we work together. So we come up with the story together. Luke writes the script. He does the line art. I did the colors, and then the way that we work, the programs that we used, because we do everything digitally. The programs that we use don't really talk to each other very well. So the pages that I was coloring didn't have the text on it already. So I knew what the story was. I could have looked up the script if I wanted to, but often I was coloring pages with sort of an idea of what was happening, but not the text itself.
Okay.
And so it wasn't until I gave the page back to Luke and he finished it off, put the text on. When I read it back, I got to see the whole thing sort of as the audience would see it. So I got to see the final, the page as it was for the first time with the text on it, reading it,
Wow.
as I was proofing it. And so for me, that experience, I got to read the book in its entirety, as I was proofing it. And the things that really resonated with me, I really love Snacks. He's my favorite character. He's such a little goofball, and he really wants to be friends. He really wants to have a connection with people. He really wants to understand what's going on and make a difference. And I think any scene where he is, there are a couple of moments where he's definitely not getting the best out of the situation. He's coming out of it worse off than he came into the scene. But there are some moments where he comes to. I don't want to spoil anything, but
well, we see
good,
his value. Well, we see where he comes from. He's not.
Moments.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping, because I like him too. I don't like when characters get treated a certain way. You know, I'm like, okay, you know that this guy is special then, because anyone that they treat like that is always going to be someone that's going to be on a come up somewhere.
So, and he's alone at the beginning in the bit that you've read, but he gets allies later. He'll get support.
Hey, oh, I can't wait. See, folks, they're teasing me here. I'm dying for it. Listen, again, you want to read the book, you see that QR code right there in that corner, go ahead, snap away, take you straight to the website, Black Panel Press. You know, make it easy for you. You go hit that buy now button, you know, put out your credit card, your PayPal, whatever you got, all right? Let's make it happen. And it'll get in there time for Christmas, you heard? Because this book is available now. It's also on Amazon if you have an Amazon account, all right? I mean, I don't want to push Amazon. I want you guys to get it straight from support independent posters and my people over at Black Panel, all right? Let's make this happen. Now, after folks finish, he lost his keys in space. What do you want lingering in their mind?
Oh, hard to say because I don't want to spoil the ending, but I guess just think about it sounds cliche, but I think it makes sense because he's after something very material. And when you get something very material, like I could get the most expensive object in the world and I could put it in my house and I could sit and look at it. But, you know, how long does that last? And I think he gives up on some really important things in his quest for something that's very material and very ultimately unimportant. And I think that's something interesting to reflect on.
Interesting. I got this one for you, Lizzy. What do you hope they laugh at first and think about later?
That's a really good question. Because I think we have been talking about this book as if it's like, oh, this terrible character, and you're going to have a really hard time sticking with a whole book following this terrible person. But it is a comedy as well. It's lots of jokes, and I think there's also a lot of very unexpected twists and turns. Like even when I was reading it back, there were things that I'd forgotten and sort of shocked me as I was reading it. I think the thing that I would like people to take away from it, I mean, it sounds cliched, but just that there's more to life than having things and being, you know, meeting your ambition. I would want people to recognize that at every point in the book, Vega has a choice. And I want them to think about like what could have happened if he'd made another choice, and if the characters, you know, had made different choices in that book.
All right, there we go. Now, tell us. This is what I need to know now. All right, what's next? The keys found, or is this the start of a cosmic lost and found epic?
all our stories are separate. So the new book is something completely different. We always have room. We have ideas. We could always revisit characters. We could tell a sequel. We know what we would do there. But no, the next. Should we say what we've done?
No, give us a tea. Give us a tea.
Yeah,
no pressure, but all the pressure. Come on.
It's called Pokey Town, and it's about you know, in like a fantasy sort of video game adventure when you fight all those little bats and mushrooms and stuff like that when you're level 1. It's about the prison that they go to when they get reprimanded for hassling heroes. So it's a prison made out of candy. It's the cutest prison in the realm, where and it's about a Daisy who gets and daisies don't normally get into trouble, but she gets drunk on mead at a party and punches a hero who's on a quest, and she ends up serving time in Pokey Town, sharing a cell with a bat and all these malevolent creatures. Like there's a pie in there with there's all these characters. And and then something
a food fight with the pie.
And then there's something unexpected happens in the prison, which changes the whole status quo, and then it sort of goes on from there. But so we've done that, and that's a very colorful, strange book. It's kind of like a cozy horror.
Yeah, cozy horror.
Candy-colored cozy horror. It's
for me, it feels like a Ready Player One, except though this is the NPC. This shit.
Yeah, it's just all the little monsters and all the little low-level guys. Yeah, and then there's the question of and what happens when one of those little like Nintendo monsters meets one of those big Dark Souls monsters? It's that kind of.
I'm digging this. I'm digging the vibe.
Kind of thing.
What keeps you guys on that type of energy? Again, staying on that humor, having fun. How do you guys stay, invigorated, if you will, to create?
My background's theater, so I wrote and directed theater for 10 years. So that was something where I was, and I studied theater at university. So it's something where I was always very interested in writing, and you were seeing audiences react in real time. And I think, and you sort of know what works and what doesn't work. So I think for me that, there's always ideas, and what you realize is very quickly when you have audiences is no one will ever be as invested in your project as you are.
100.
So there are people sometimes that go, I'm about a 7 on this, but I'm hoping that someone will come along and be a 10 on it, and it won't happen, But if you're a 10, if you're an 11, they might be a 7 or 8, and that's good. So I think there's something kind of foolproof about having fun and people knowing you're having fun, because if you read it and you think that we had fun and we enjoyed doing it, then there's nothing you can take away from us, even if you hated it. You can't deny that, here were two people that were honestly really enjoying themselves and doing something that they were passionate about. And I think as long as we can do that, and that comes across, that this is something that we've really, because I like storytelling wise, I think we invested a lot. We really plotted the hell out of this thing. Like we really wanted to make everything work. So I hope that people will feel that as well, and really see that there's a lot of care and a lot of thought gone into something, which is also something that's very silly and funny as well. But if we love it, if we're proud of it, we hope that people at least will understand that they're not going to bring us down from that. Like that's something that we'll always have. Process is always the best thing.
Gotcha. There we go.
I think because we both have day jobs as well, and we've got
busy.
Yes, we're very tired all the time. So I think for us, the problem is we have more ideas and more desire to create than we have time to do it. And so we've got plans for probably 5 or 6 more books that could all we could start today. there are different stages of plot, story, character design. But we have to kind of like, well, which one do we like the most? Which one excites us most? Okay, we're going to go with that one. And in fact, just like 2 weeks ago, I think, we had an idea for a book that we've kind of put a pause on the other things that we're working on, and we're going full tilt into this other idea because we're so excited about it. And it's the thing that's going to get us working on it, after hours and on weekends instead.
Yeah.
All right. I dig that. Well, you see that? They stay working, day jobs, then part-time, they do their thing. See what I'm saying? Everybody just make your dreams happen. So that's right. Luke and Lizzy, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Y'all brought some cosmic fire today, if you will. So Crusaders, if you're tired of the same old sci-fi and you want something that's bold, weird, hilarious, and sharper than a media at rush hour, He Lost His Keys to Space is the graphic novel you need in your life. So please support indie creators. Follow Black Panel Press and grab that book right now. QR code's right there. Hit the links, hit the comments, and hit that subscribe button like you're launching a rocket off the Brooklyn Bridge, all right? So this is Al Mega signing off, reminding you, please, as always, that if you ever lose your keys, just pray they ain't in space. Wepa! We out.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.